Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, and I'm so excited to be participating in a blog hop celebrating Neat and Tangled's 5th birthday. They've had blog hops and celebrations going on all week, and I will have links to all the info in the description box below the video and over on my blog. So I am using the new Wild Ones stamp set that is absolutely adorable, and just looking at the set I wanted to use all little images, and I started thinking about like stacking them all up on one another. So then to do that I decided to make a larger than normal card. Usually I stick to A2 size cards, but I have some business envelopes in my stash, so I trimmed down some Simon Says Stamp green leaf cardstock, and I cut it down to 7 inches by 8.5, and then I scored it at 3.5, so this will be a 3.5 by 8.5 inch card. So after I trimmed the green cardstock, I scored it with my Teflon bone folder, and then I trimmed down some white cardstock to be about 1/8 of an inch smaller than that. And then I pulled out the stamp set and the coordinating die set, and other than the little die for the party hat that was nested inside one of the other ones, all these dies are open, so I kept them all together, and I put them face down inside my mini MISTI here on top of some Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock, and then I lined up all of these stamps with the coordinating die set. So this way, once I'm done coloring, I can just tape that entire die set over top, run it through my Big Shot, and everything will be die cut at the same time. So after I got all those stamps lined up, I'm inking them up with Hero Art's Intense Black ink. This is a Copic friendly ink, and then using the Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock. This is Copic friendly cardstock. So then I can get to coloring. So I have sped up the coloring portion of this video about 800% faster than it normally took me. I like to just sit and color. I kind of zone out. I don't really time myself. I honestly have no idea how long this took me, but I just had so much fun coloring in all these little images. So I put all the colors I used on the screen here for each of the images, and then I also will have a picture of all the Copics I used on my blog. So I'm just going to play some music, and I will be back when I get to the rest of the card. So after I had finished all of that coloring, I took my Uni-Ball White Gel Pen and went along all of these little images, adding just little dots and details and highlights. That is one of my favorite things to do after coloring with Copics. It just adds so much extra detail and depth to the images. So for all those little extra party hats I had stamped, I colored on some little stripes for those, and then added just little random dots here and there, and just filled in all these little areas, because more often than not I have more difficulty keeping a light hand when coloring, you know, to leave areas for highlights. So it's just easier to go back in afterwards and add it with a white gel pen. So after I had done all of that coloring, all that detail work, now I can grab the coordinating die set and tape that into place with some Micropore tape. So all those main images will get cut out in one pass with my Big Shot machine. And then the little party hat, I can die cut one of them at the same time and then have to run it through multiple times to cut out all those little extra ones, because I want to obviously make a birthday themed card, and I thought it would be really cute if they all had little matching birthday hats on. So I taped it into place with Micropore tape, ran that through my machine. And then to create my sentiment, I'm using the Go Wild sentiment from that same Wild Ones set, as well as the It's Your Birthday sentiment from the Neat and Tangled Puppy's Favorite Things stamp set. There was part of the release, there's this adorable Hooray die as well as a stamp set. I will have a link to the release on my blog post, but my die isn't here yet. I ordered it not too long ago, and I was hoping it would get here before I made my card, but it didn't. It's so cute. So I would have used that with this card, but I thought the sentiments were really cute as well. So after I'd done that, as I was like stacking all these animals together, there was these little confetti images in that Wild One set. And I was thinking how cute those would be to kind of stamp them all in all different colors in the background. And I have, of course, all the Distress Oxide inks that have been released thus far. They're sitting on my desk literally a foot away from me. I don't even bother putting them away. So I just grabbed a bunch of like bright colored ones I thought would look good with these images. And I just keep stamping all these confetti images in the Distress Oxide inks all over this white cardstock. So after I'd done that, I made sure to leave that bottom area clear, and then I used some warm gray Copic markers just to scribble on basically some ground or some shading along the bottom so it doesn't look like these images are floating. All at the same time, that could totally work too. Thinking about it, since, you know, the little monkey's got that balloon. But I decided I wanted the giraffe to be basically standing on the ground, and then, you know, all these other images kind of standing on him. So after I'd colored that little bit of ground, I'm going to use dimensional adhesive to pop up all of these images. So you can see all backing paper. I edited that out of the video because I sat and wrestled with backing paper for quite some time. But kind of worth it to get that extra dimension by popping up all these images. So once I had all of those adhered into place, I'm going to adhere all these little party hats with just a bit of Nuvo adhesive. Just adding dots of that. And to a couple of the little party hats, I trimmed down a little bit of that dimensional adhesive and put it right behind the top of the party hat, just so that it won't get like bent or anything like that. So I got all of these little party hats adhered onto all these little characters. And then of course I have to finish the inside of my card. So I unfolded it and decided to stamp the images in more of these Distress Oxide inks. So I'm inking up some of the images from the set, and this one I'm using the Twisted Citron Distress Oxide ink, and decided to stamp the giraffe kind of in the lower area of the card, and then stamp the monkey as if he's kind of floating away along the top of the card. And then I just stamped the little bird on top of the giraffe's head. And then I used the party animal sentiment from that set and just inked it up with the same intense black ink, stamped it on the center of the card, and then again decided to stamp the confetti images from the set with those Distress Oxide inks again on the inside of the card, just to pull in a little bit of color, since it's such a large card and there's so much green cardstock. I just kind of wanted to break that up a little bit. Just randomly stamped it all along the inside of the card, so we've got these fun little bits of color. So once I was done with that, I did think about popping up the main card front with foam tape, but decided instead to just adhere that flat again to the card. One, because I'd be using a ton of foam tape to adhere this piece, and two, because I've got everything else popped up on dimensionals, I didn't want to, you know, overdo that. So after I had done that, I grabbed my diamond stickles from my stash and worked very hard on keeping a light hand with this. I really wanted to go all out with the glitter. I thought it would be so much fun. But instead I just added just little bits of glitter to their little party hats and to the candle and then a little bit to the balloon just to give it that little extra something. Plus, if you're light-handed with the stickles, it definitely goes a lot easier. It dries a lot faster. So that finished off my card. Like I said earlier, I will have links below the video to my blog post with links to all the supplies used. There's also a blog hop going on. There is giveaways, all kinds of fun things. So definitely check out my blog post. It'll be the first link in the description box below the video. Thank you all so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping and commenting on my videos. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all very soon in the next one. Bye.